work with partners like Tomorrow Golf League, Live Golf, uh, you know, even other leagues that have started recently where their seasons are shortened, right? It's not just about the global tournaments. Even those organizations, they have, like Tomorrow Golf League is only from Jan to April. How do you keep the audience's attention during the rest of the time? Well, those athletes are also competing in other tournaments. In fact, that's the perfect way to get to tell us more about you. Which athletes do you follow? Are you a Rory fan? Are you a Tiger fan? So the next time when they're competing in other places or other tournaments, you can still come to us to talk about that fandom. And Peter, you mentioned how you let athletes accounts become a avenue for fan engagement. Organizations like Bleacher Report lean into UGC content, right? Where users are coming in and posting. I mean, that's what Reddit is all about, obviously, and it's been there for 20 years. But come in and talk about what happens during the off season of Formula One is indicative of what these organizations should be doing as well. Giving your audiences a chance to engage with your athletes, whether they're playing during those months or not. USOPC does the same thing. They're running quizzes, they're running polls about all their different athletes, and there's hundreds, thousands of them, right, across all the different disciplines, sports disciplines. Or even simple stuff like follow an athlete's health and wellness routine. How are they prepping? How are they getting ready for the big tournament? People want to engage. I think what Instagram and TikTok and all of these organizations have shown us is people want to engage with these athletes even when they're not on the field. They want to learn more about them. And so leaning into that fandom or that behavior is something that can only happen if you actually invest in the foundations of a D2C or your own digital properties, capturing a CRM, capturing that database, and then reaching out to those fans when hey, do you want to engage with your favorite athlete? What is their routine, etc. So I think learning from that is an important part of fan engagement.
Maybe we have just one last question to wrap it up, because it's a pretty good one from John as well. So we're talking about the complexity of how to engage people on a platform outside of the live events, right? But how fundamental it is and how there are opportunities for it. Peter, and with your broadcaster head up, being on the broadcast side of things not so long ago, how important do you think that experience is for people to keep subscribing to platforms compared to going to consume content illegally? Do you think that there's a strong tie there, or do you think that it's the correlation is not that big between both topics?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about teams and leagues and needing to sort of build and keep their audiences. It's the same challenge for a broadcaster, and particularly to be part of that official broadcast as opposed to being part of an illegal broadcast. I think is a really good challenge, and whether that be second screen experiences or whether it be being immersive broadcast, I think there are opportunities there to offer some added value that isn't just available to a pirated stream. So if you can try and build that engagement with a fan, hopefully it keeps them off the illegals and gives a reason to be part of an official process. One of the things that I love about the immersive stuff is the fact you've got the chance of watching it with like unlimited graphics alongside the live broadcast. And that means you've got a way of fans leaning in and doing things during the game as opposed to just receiving the game. And that can't be offered by an illegal in the same way. So that I think is part of the story. But also if you've got branded immersive or gaming elements built into your broadcast, the value of that sponsorship is not just on your official viewers, but it's also for your illegal viewers. So yeah. I think you look at some of the work that's been done by, again, NBA around illegal viewing of their content, but actually putting it in their sponsorship values. I think that's a fascinating route that will become more and more important.